This is Audiobook Caboodle YouTube channel. Place for finest collection of audiobooks and novels.
Don't Marry by James W. Donovan. Section 7. Don't spurn a man for his poverty. Prosperity is the parent of friends. Misfortune is the fire by which they are tried. One may be poor by an honest failure. Another may be rich on ill-gotten gains. The first the lord of honor, the last a prosperous knave. I would give it all willingly and work by the day, if we could be placed back where we were, and be free from the worry and dread and anxiety, said a rich man's wife to a waiting friend by her sick bedside. Who does not know of poor, plain boys who endured the poverty of youth, struggled with their studies, carved out a fortune as from flinty marble, and enjoyed it in maturer years? All the more for the effort it cost them, all the more likely to last, and continue to bless other generations. Franklin commenced poor with a penny loaf. Greeley was homely and awkward. Few would have looked for Lincoln's rise. Giddings and Collier and Garfield all started low on the ladder, and ended high in honor and worthy of any woman's affection. If we could only get near enough to genius to comprehend its superior worth, if we could reverence talent and admire integrity, and take true measure of prospective greatness, what a fortune we would possess! Like high-priced lots in large cities, the discoverers of rare locations seldom knew the value of their purchases. It takes time for development, more time and genius and character than we are always ready to wait for. But the far-seeing are always rewarded. So with the prizes of matrimony. Don't marry and expect a husband to be wealthy while young. Only the older men should be looked to for high financial standing. In a hopeful country like ours, few are rich under 50, seldom under 60. Young men who earn their education and begin and learn a business are rarely partners at 30 or 35. It takes time to prosper. Several mistakes may be made. Scarcely a wholesale house in New York or Boston has run on 20 years without a failure. Failure is the rule, success the exception. Patience, pluck, and perseverance win the victory. But they who spend freely in the forenoon have little left in the evening. Those who save early double in like ratio later on. Don't marry in opposite religious views. If possible, marry near your own belief. This may seem strained, but the story of divorces will confirm its wisdom. Children and parents very often disagree on religious subjects. The farmers, Betsy and I are out, controversy was a difference in our creed, and the more we argued the matter, the less we ever agreed. It is pleasant to agree on a subject so vital in families, more especially so in Protestant and Catholic families, where education is sometimes controlled by church government, and marriages are held illegal in one church if not solemnized by its forms, and between regular believers in its faith and doctrines. Don't marry a duke, or any man who travels on his title. The most of such men are very common, and the most of young people who seek their company are sold, deceived, and seriously disappointed. They expect a fortune to begin with, and will be the most exacting of all mortals. This is a mere matter of birth and surroundings. Novels tell many beautiful stories, pretty visions, about brave and noble dukes and their princely palaces, attentive servants, and flower arbors. Experience tells far different stories. The history of 9 out of 10 of such unnatural unions is a record of 500,000 or so squandered on a petted daughter to satisfy a mother's ambition, and ending in misery entailed by the dearly bought purchase. Don't marry so much out of rank as to be a burden, or carry a burden. Do marry a man that you can look up to, and see that he can do likewise. There are plenty of farmers, mechanics, merchants, conductors, doctors, lawyers, and men of general business, who are worthy, trusty, generous, noble, and will make excellent husbands. Seek them out from their character, their conduct at home, their treatment of sisters and mothers, their devotion to business and adherence to principle. Show them that you trust them. Be ready to marry. Become accomplished and useful. Make yourself worthy of a home, and know how to manage it with skill and kindness. Loving natures are not long neglected. The worn-out belles and women who fade and wither, and die snappish and single, were insincere, or lack some quality of winning manners. Do marry a president. That is the correct form now. It's so romantic. Waive all the hints of other objections. Age, love, spite, money, and the like. Get a president. Just for the position, you know. Then all the little jewels and diamonds and presents will come rolling in like flowers to a favorite singer. All little objections vanish in the presence of a president. He must be suited to any condition of beauty, genius, or intellect. Don't refuse a president's offer. You may never get but one such in a lifetime. Do marry a plain man, just a plain, common-sense man, be he banker, lawyer, doctor, farmer, builder, merchant, so he is a man. For manhood is at a premium today in home life. The world is full to overflowing with brilliant men. Public offices are public trusts, and all that such responsibility implies. And there are women in stations where the word home has very little meaning, and other women who long for the quiet and comfort of true domestic life, away from the cares of office and the demands of lofty stations. Two of the things that lead to greatest misery of the masses today are over-ambition and reckless marriages. Don't coax a woman to love you. If you wish to win, that is certainly the wrong way. If they have any notion of it, you are in the opposite direction of success. Women despise a fawning, cringing nature. Fortune and women, born to be controlled, stoop to the forward and the bold. A far more sensible way to win will be by indifference. Show enough willingness to reassure her, and enough courage to act manly. 10 to 1 you have mistaken her temper by lack of frankness. Nothing is more touching than truth. If you are really bent on marrying, and have told the right person the whole story, earnestly and truthfully, the answer should be decisive. Keen dealers seldom banter. They may hesitate. They may explain their wants and wishes. They never parley very long, or express much anxiety to strike a bargain. Winning a wife or a lover is a rare art. To be worthy of either is the first essential. It is better to be worthy of it than to be present and unworthy. It must be consoling even to a jilted lover to feel that he is superior to the one successful. The next thing to be worthy is being ready. Many a youth begins driving, sleighing, and dressing for society who pays his clothing bills by installments, and whose salary is wholly unequal to his outlay. Fairness demands that a girl in marrying should better her condition. How can one expect her to marry into misery? Chesterfield quotes an old Spanish saying of great force and aptness. It is the beginning that costs in everything. The first step over, the rest is easy. Don't marry recklessly. Before 2 or more men form a partnership, they learn each other's means of furthering the business to be engaged in, the confidence that each is worthy of, the skill, attention, etc. each can give, and the prospects of a mutual agreement and prosperity. Without some inquiry on these vital requisites, no company concern would be founded. It would be a foolish investment to purchase goods and fit up stores or warehouses without some forecast of results. And yet this is precisely in the line of marriage. Partnerships are business marriages. It is not best to be too cool and calculating about it. One caution may let another take the venture and draw the premium, but some common sense may as well be mixed with a matter so vital as a lifelong engagement. Firms are limited to a few years. Marriages are unlimited save by death or divorce. for over a third of a century, on an average. While it is very difficult to tell whom to marry, for no one can foresee your circumstances, still, it is well to mention a large class that no one should marry, at least till all others are no longer accessible. If one could foresee the extent of happiness depending on this selection of partners, if he would take a simple business caution and investigate enough to be considerate, he might save society from disgrace and himself from lasting misery. For the fact is that the most glaring of all our American evils is the looseness of marriage ties, and the misery it entails on domestic relations. If these hints or reminders should induce one woman to avoid a bad marriage, and one man to contract a good one, or save a long quarrel, or keep families in harmony, or help some poor bashful fellow to gain his yes by a sensible proposal, the time in reading will be well spent. The trifling cost will be a splendid investment. End of section 7.
This was Audiobook Caboodle YouTube channel presentation. We hope you enjoyed listening. For full audiobook, check out our playlist section. Links in description below.